Welcome to Weekly Digest, where we highlight the works of ministers of government as they push the administration's development agenda. Some 312 residents of Beirut, East Coast Demerara, will finally receive their land titles by year end. This assurance was made by Minister within the Ministry of Housing and Water, Susan Rodriguez, at an outreach in the village last Saturday.
In order for us to get to the end of this process, where each and every one of you who have an outstanding title to receive, we have to work together. I am committing to you that you have my support. And right now we are very anxious and eager to get this process done, and we've set a timeline for ourselves.
The minister also reiterated the government's commitment to ensuring that all citizens have access to the necessary facilities, such as bridges, roads, and recreational amenities.
We have committed to ensuring that all of those communities that are outstanding in terms of regularization, that we bring that to completion in the shortest possible time.
The government of Guyana, through the Ministry of Health, is placing major emphasis on the development of primary healthcare delivery. Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony and a team of senior health officials on Saturday visited the number 24 and the Land Live Man as the facilities hosted residents at Health Center Day activities. The ministry has done an assessment of the needs of the health centers and has been actively working on improving conditions for patients who visit those facilities. He said the new concept the ministry is working on is to prevent illnesses from happening in the first place by working closely with members of the communities.
We really want to work with you. So the first thing is working with you directly so that we can improve each and every one of you, your health. But you got to do some homework in terms of what you eat, how you exercise, and some of those things. And then we'll do our part at the health center. And then secondly, as we improve the system,
the Ministry of Health, in collaboration with the Pan American Health Organization, on Monday hosted a tree planting activity on the site of the Pediatric and Maternal Hospital. Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony stated that the Pediatric and Maternal Hospital is set to become a premier facility.
The facility would also have specialized care, so for oncological patients, we'll be able to do cardiac surgeries and so forth. Right to this facility. And the services that we'll be providing here is not only going to be for Guyanese citizens, but we expect that the service would be of such quality that persons from the Caribbean who need such service would be able to come here and access the service.
The activity also commemorates PAHO's upcoming 120th anniversary. As Agriculture Month's activities continue, agri-agencies which include the Guyana School of Agriculture, GSA, and the National Agricultural Research and Extension Institute, NARI, hosted an open day and exhibition at Monrepo, East Coast Demerara, on Wednesday. The open day activity also aims to showcase to young people the importance and prospects available in the agriculture sector. Students had the opportunity to tour the spaces and stop by the booths of the agencies that were on show during the activity. Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa, while addressing the gathering, reiterated that agriculture is one of the most important sectors. The integration of young people in the agriculture sector will help them to understand the importance of agriculture to Guyana's development.
I'm very happy and elated to see so many young people here. And this augurs well for us in the agriculture sector. I hope when you leave here today, that you leave here with the intention of going into the agriculture sector. But I hope that when you go around, you will look at the various aspects of agriculture and you will find yourself involved and be interested in this very important sector, so all of us can prepare for food security.
Minister Mustafa emphasized that the ministry remains committed to developing agriculture by practicing climate-smart agriculture for more young people to be a part of. An open day and exhibition was also held at Mahaika Maikoni Abari Agricultural Development Authority, MMA ADA, at Onvoact Burpees, Region 5, on Wednesday. During the event, more than 100 leases for agricultural and residential lands were distributed to farmers of Region 5 to expand production in the MMA scheme. The PPPC administration has made significant investments in the agriculture sector, which forms part of its agenda to reduce the food import bill by 25% by 2025. The Ministry of Labour's Central Manpower Recruitment Agency paid tribute on Wednesday to 25 of its partners who offer employment to Guyanese, meeting government's commitment of 50,000 new jobs. The main tribute was given by Minister of Labour Joseph Hamilton.
So all of those things we have to change the mindset as a nation. And this is a national effort. How we transform this society. You know, I believe every university student, final year student, should be someplace doing internship or apprenticeship. Everyone.
As the economy expands, the Labour Agency matches job seekers with employers who require specific skill sets as the country's growth progresses at an increasing pace under the PPPC government. Following a discussion with the Hiwa Multipurpose Cooperative Society in Region 9, Minister of Labour Joseph Hamilton pledged the government support in the form of technical and vocational programs.
They have facilities, but the major issues coming out of the meeting is we have to bring some training to the community so that they will be in a position to manage their assets that they have, and they would be able to sustain the projects that they have.
He said that officers of the Small Business Bureau will team up with the ministry's Co-op Society to facilitate the training.
They have assets, they have machines, they have generator. It is how you have them manage it to develop the products they have and to sustain it.
Minister of Culture, Youth and Sport Charles Ramson on Monday engaged residents of Victory Valley and Watuka, Linden, Region 10, during a community outreach. The visit is part of several he made to the mining town after President Ali visited the town and promised continued engagement in support of development there. Speaking to residents at Victory Valley, the minister reiterated the need to build the country through leadership at the governmental and grassroots levels.
And we all want the same thing. No matter how they twist and turn it, we want the same thing. We all want development. We all want progress. We all want prosperity. And it's important too that for all of you to appreciate that for that development and progress and prosperity to happen, that leadership is important. Leadership coming from the government side and leadership coming from the community side.
The sports minister also conducted a site visit to the Bayrock synthetic track. He also announced $10 million in support for the West Watuka Community Ground. The PPPC administration continues to engage residents across the length and breadth of Guyana in order to ensure that each Guyanese benefits from the government's transformative developmental agenda. Residents of Ogle and Luzignan will soon benefit from upgrades to their community grounds. Following inspections on Thursday evening, Minister of Culture, Youth and Sport Charles Ramson stated that the track being constructed for the Ogle community ground will be completed within the coming weeks.
So they've got to finish up doing the crusher run right now. They have to put about 3 inches of crusher run there. So they've finished a portion of it. I'd say maybe about 50% of it or so. They've got to finish that. That's going to be finished within the next few days. And then once that's completed, then they have to put on the asphalting.
As it relates to works being done on the Luzignan ground, the minister shared that the ministry is currently rolling out a model being replicated across the country to provide modern facilities for sports grounds.
This ground mainly is going to be the lights and the fixing of the fence. These lights we've created a model that we've been replicating across the country that have been very successful. We started that last year. We've just enhanced it a little bit now with better lights, more efficient lights. But that's the main feature that's going to be here. And the people in the community, the residents, the users, they believe it's going to make a big difference here. And this is what they've asked for.
The $28,000 one-off cash grant for pensioners kicked off in Georgetown on Tuesday. Human Services and Social Security Minister Dr. Vindya Prasad visited sites where the distribution of the grant as well as pension books was taking place.
What I have been doing on site is interfacing with them to look at how we can better serve, how we can have more efficiency, and how we can see what are some of the things they want to see happen. And I've gotten some very good suggestions which I will be putting into place. So listening to the elders, listening to what their thoughts are is a very important thing for me. And this morning I am really getting some education on what are some of the most burning needs. So it's been good in that way as well.
Gender-based violence will be tackled comprehensively in Region 3 as the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security took its Community Advocates Network to the region. Dr. Vindhya Prasad launched the program early on Wednesday. 90 persons underwent a 2-day training.
We have to educate families. Don't wait until something happens and someone loses their life. Report it. Don't turn a blind eye to your daughter-in-law, or whoever that may be, or males in your family, they're experiencing violence. It is not okay.
Community advocates will work with the local police officers and the ministry's toll-free 24-hour domestic violence hotline 914 staff to report any form of abuse. In an effort to foster inclusivity and transparency in Guyana's electoral system, the Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs and Governance on Tuesday hosted a national stakeholders forum on Guyana's electoral reform process. Delivering remarks during the forum, Minister of Parliamentary Affairs and Governance, Gail Teixeira, stated that the consultation process serves as a testimony to the government's commitment to free and fair elections.
This consultation reaffirms the Government of Guyana's commitment to implement a consultative, inclusive and participatory process regarding electoral reform.
Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, Senior Counsel Mohabir Anil Nanlal, stated that the catalyst of the reform process was the 2020 elections issue.
Recommendations were culled, distilled, and those recommendations have been incorporated insofar as they were accepted, incorporated into the current drafts that you have available. We went out again for another iteration with the hope again that we can receive inputs from civil society organizations, stakeholders, the ordinary Guyanese, the diaspora, and anyone interested in making a constructive contribution.
He stated that the PPPC government will never be opposed to any form of scrutiny regarding the electoral process. Guyana has made notable advancements in decreasing the gender gap. Based on the data displayed in the 2022 Gender Gap Index, Guyana has risen on the Global Gap Index from the rank of 53rd to 35th, recording an over 66% decrease in gender gaps. In an interview with DPI, Minister of Parliamentary Affairs and Governance, Gail Teixeira, said that the government is pleased with the report as it shows the efficacy of the administration's policies as well as identifies areas in need of improvement.
We have done not badly in the past in terms of the report of 2014-2015. We were making progress, but this is where I think we've made some leaps in the last year, and I think it's important for us to note that and what were the factors that may have contributed to that.
The report also points out that women in Guyana are listed as having near equal rights in areas of access to financial assets, land and non-land assets. Minister Teixeira said that these improvements have been encouraged by the multitude of programs implemented by the government.
But it shows that there is an accumulative progress by our country, and that obviously helps by the President Ali's programs that have been coming at us.
The Unicomer group of companies on Wednesday held a ceremony to celebrate the opening of their remodeled Courts main office in Guyana. Delivering feature remarks during the ceremony, Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce, Onij Walrond, stated that Unicomer is an intrinsic part of the transformative development taking place across Guyana.
Developments like these reinforce the point that it is no longer business as usual and there is no room for mediocrity. Rather, we are a people deserving of excellent facilities and services. So today's launch is in keeping with the optimistic outlook of a new and improved Guyana. This launch aligns with our trajectory of growth and government's vision for a better life for all Guyanese.
She also alluded to their geographical inclusion and job creation and their effective participation in the credit system, which ensures that low-income Guyanese can enjoy the same amenities as their high-income counterparts.
I highlighted all of this because our philosophy of One Guyana suggests that all Guyanese must enjoy a standard of living that affords them a fulfilling and dignified existence. So we cannot simply see Unicommer as a business entity attempting to maximize profits, but rather a company that is intrinsic to our development and enhanced lifestyle for Guyanese.
The Ministry of Natural Resources on Wednesday welcomed the discovery of 2 additional oil discoveries by multinational oil and gas corporation ExxonMobil. A release issued by the ministry stated that the discoveries were made at Sailfin 1 and Yarrow 1 offshore Guyana within the Stabroek Block. Natural Resources Minister Vikram Bharat stated that the regulatory agencies within the petroleum sector are mandated to enhance collaboration with all other operators to expedite their drill programs. These mandates exist even as the government seeks to further expand the sector through the discoveries of recoverable high-quality hydrocarbon. The new discoveries will provide additional resources for the government in fulfilling its manifesto promises as it relates to developing the oil and gas sector for the benefit of all Guyanese. Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony and Minister of Public Works Bishop Juan Edgell on Thursday met and interacted with residents of the Haslington housing scheme. The residents expressed concerns about the garbage disposal and lack of adequate recreational facilities, among others. Minister Anthony said that the community meeting is a positive start in fostering interventions in Haslington.
And it's not only going to be the 2 of us. We'll engage the relevant ministers who would come and be able to talk to you on the specific projects that you have. We have a government that is going to work for everybody.
Minister Edgell urged the residents to form a Community Development Council, CDC, so that their concerns are better represented and addressed. He added that immediately after the formation of a CDC in the community, interventions will be made.
We see your concerns. Government will work with you, but government could only do so much. You got to organize yourself to ensure that that is a continuous engagement and benefits continue to come to your community.
This is a demonstration of the PPPC administration's policy of engaging with all citizens to foster development. For more information about government agencies and policies, visit our website at dpi.gov.gy or follow our social media pages. Goodbye.